So hey folks, this is John with Ozarks Backroads with you again. I'm back in my usual location on the side of a forest road out in the middle of the government woods. Perfect place for me to be on a beautiful fall day. So I found some forest roads down here in the government woods. I'll put a map up and kind of show you where we're at. But I found some roads I've never been over, so it should be pretty interesting. We've got one road that runs along a creek for several miles. I think that's going to be really pretty. So stick around. We'll take the Tiger for a ride in the government woods here on a beautiful fall day in the Ozarks. We'll get mounted up here on the mighty white Tiger and head on down the road. This should really be a pretty day. Got a lot of things on the Tiger today. My normal stuff, my camera gear. I'm not heavy. This stuff is all pretty light. It looks like a lot, but it's really not. So we've had some unusually warm weather the last day or two, about 3 days actually. But today's the last day. It's supposed to change. So I thought I better get out and maybe get one more nice fall ride video in the bag here before it all goes south. The roads are still relatively open here. They're not totally covered with leaves. In the fall, when these leaves come off, these roads get totally covered and they're hard to find to stay on the road. Holes and rocks and ledges and things that are in the road, you can't see any of that when they get leaf covered. So we're going to be in pretty good shape today. This is looking real nice. Got fresh government gravel laid on this recently, it looks like. A little marbly on top. Of course, my tires, I got like 35 pounds in the front and 38 or 9 in the rear. I've been traveling on the highway an hour or so to get down here to this section of woods. So I keep a little air in the tires. Makes it interesting on these gravel roads, skating around. Deer season is in session down here. I believe gun season. So we're going to see some deer hunters camped out. That was probably a deer hunting camp right there. Some guys down here hunting and camping out in the woods. Uh-oh. I missed a turn. I've hit a dead end down here. This is just a camping. But you could camp right here. I'd say this would be a camp spot. So we'll have to go back and get on the blue line. I missed the blue line pretty bad here. I believe this is where I went wrong, right here. I think we need to go this way. That's what the blue line says. I'm gonna trust it. Yeah, really nice. A lot of yellow in there. Well, looky here. This is almost a perfect roadblock. You couldn't have done a better job if you had intended to right here. So, looks like maybe a few vehicles have been over this. Not a lot. Oh, dead limb. Wonder if that made any noise when it hit the ground. Looks like it kind of exploded and stuff went everywhere. This is an old white oak. You can see this limb's hollow where it was attached to the tree. We'll make a path through here. Well, I don't have my traction control turned off. I hate that about this bike. Every time you turn the key off, you lose your settings. It goes back to street mode with the traction control turned on. There we go. We got it now. This road right here, they've got a lot of fresh gravel on it. It is really skatey. Probably just stand up and let the bike skate all it wants. Look at this yellow tree right here. It's That is probably a hickory. Yeah, that's a hickory tree. Quite yellow. This bike right here is starting to get to be a little bit much for me as far as being able to pick it up and to handle it. In more technical stuff, I'm starting to have more trouble all the time with this bike. It's not super heavy, but it's top heavy. The center of gravity's high on this bike, and man, that makes a world of difference when actual riding and the experience that you have on the bike. This thing is hard to pick up. The weight's up high on it, and it wants to fall over because of the high weight. The situation is I have the CF Moto, the Ibex 800T now, and that bike is actually quite a bit easier to handle in technical stuff and slow. The center of gravity is quite a bit lower on that bike, and it feels a lot lighter than this bike. In reality, it's not, but it just feels that way, and it's way easier to pick up. Boy, this is rough. The Ibex is a lot easier to pick up than this bike because of the lower center of gravity. It's just, you don't have to lift the weight isn't as much when you lift it. So I'm really struggling. I'm thinking I may possibly let this Tiger go. Maybe get a lighter dual sport bike, a real dual sport bike. This isn't a real dual sport bike. This is a middleweight adventure bike, and it's 130 pounds heavier than a real dual sport bike would be. And that's a huge amount of weight difference. So I may let the Tiger go if I can make myself do it. And the Ibex is also, in my opinion, quite a bit better to travel on than this Tiger. This Tiger is no slouch. It travels nice, but the Ibex is just better. I mean, it's better in every way. It's better wind protection. It's quieter when you ride out on the highway. 70 miles an hour is really the sweet spot on that Ibex. That's where it's happy at. The Ibex is more comfortable on the long rides. So the channel could definitely use a fresh bike. That always helps with the views when you get a fresh bike, or usually helps. And this Tiger never has been popular on my channel. People just do not want, the Tiger videos just don't do well at all. Some of the shop maintenance videos on this Tiger do okay, but not great. And the riding videos like what we're doing today, there's just not a lot of interest on this Tiger. Here we go. This kind of color works for me. It's okay. It's not real bright, but it's still there. We just went through a little place called Wilderness, Missouri. It used to be a little town. I wouldn't say it's a town anymore, but there are still a few houses there that people are living in. I'm going to say this road's not used very much at all. It just goes through the government woods. You can see how they've cut this over the years, grading this road, cutting it down. Look how deep it is right here. This road's probably been here a long time. We got a camper right here. No vehicle. They may have went to town to get some groceries or something. But you can camp anywhere in the government woods down here. Yeah, I can see the rocks hanging out of the road on this, even through the leaves. All right, right down here is another road. We're into the Irish wilderness section of this national forest. Everything off to the west down through here for quite a ways over is a wilderness area. There's no roads. There's no roads in there. There's nothing in there. You can't take a motorized vehicle in there. The only way you can go in is to walk, hike in there. Pretty big area. I can't remember if I've ever been over this or not. I do know where this road comes out at. There's a big spring down here on the 11 Point River called Bose Spring, B-O-Z-E. So hopefully the road runs through like it says it does on the maps. Yeah, this is what it's all about right here, folks. Getting out and riding in this kind of stuff. It will heal your soul. Somebody lives down here. They got a mailbox out here. Wonder if they got power. I've not seen a power line in a long time. There may be. Probably is. I don't know if anybody lives anymore without power. Pretty hard to get water if you don't have power. This is the 11 Point River Valley right here. See a bit of a view right here. Yeah, we can see a little bit of it here. I see a trail. So I'm not the first person that stopped here. Yeah, here's the 11 Point River. Down here, it's got a little water in it. I don't know that I've been into this spring from this side on this road. I probably always came in off the highway. I think this is our mill right here, or our spring access. Yep, it is. We'll go look at this spring real quick. See if it's flowing okay. Here we are at Bose Spring. A short walk from the parking lot. Here's the spring hole right here. So here's the spring hole here, a different view of it. And then the little spring creek runs off towards the 11 Point River there. Really pretty. So here we are just below the spring. The little spring creek runs down through here. There used to be a mill here called Bose Mill. We're on top of the old rock dam that was built as part of the mill, and then you can see the creek running through the dam right here. And then it runs on down, and then right here is the 11 Point River. A little spring creek runs into it. Here's a little bit better look at the dam, what's left of it. Not a lot left, but just a stacked rock dam. And then there's where one of the chutes, the gate was in it. They've got it wide open now. There's another gate over here. Here we are below the dam. You can see water running through that gate. Over there is an old pipe and a turbine that used to be at the mill, powering the mill. An old metal turbine. They run a generator off of those. Electric generator. Sitting there in the creek. Wasn't worth pulling out, I guess. Here's the little spring creek where it runs out into the 11 Point River. It makes its way out here. Dumps into the 11 Point. That's pretty sweet. We had a pretty good look at the spring there and the old dam where the mill used to be way back when. That's a pretty cool little spring right there. That thing usually flows quite a bit more than it is right now. The little spring creek was pretty slow. That's just the way it is right now. It's been pretty dry. We can go down here to the highway and go to the bridge that goes over the 11 Point. There's a little park, river access, state river access and park. We can go down there and have a look at the 11 Point on our way through. This is all spring fed. There's a spring in here that feeds all this, and this is watercress. You can see watercress growing in this, among other things, some lilies. So yeah, it's a big old spring in there. And it runs down here to the 11 Point River as well. We've made it to the highway. We didn't die or anything. I can't hardly believe it. Here is the river access. Pretty darn nice right here. This is sweet. I'll get some pictures of this. Here's a shot of the river, just above the steel bridge there on Highway 160. Well, folks, I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm going to leave it on the banks of the 11-Point River here in the Ozarks. A beautiful spot. The river's really pretty right now. Got lots of flies in my face. It's just perfect. I invite you all to come back and see me. We've got a lot going on this winter. I've got some more service videos to do on the ibex. Since I've got it all tore apart, I'm going to get everything done that I can while I have the covers off of it. I invite you to come back and see me. We'll go somewhere and do something else. Till I catch up with you again, you all take care of yourselves. We'll catch you next time.